So I was thinking, there are two running backs on this roster that I'm excited to see, not just for this year, but for the future of this team. With Darren Sproles retiring after this year, not going to be with us, and Jay Ajayi going after the money next year, which I highly doubt the Eagles will re-sign, and probably not. With all this guaranteed money, a little bit of a chunk of guaranteed money going to Josh Adams and Corey Clement already having 1 year in the books and winning a Super Bowl, the Eagles have set themselves up not only with two running backs, not even drafted, but with the draft next year having at least, if you want to count compensatory picks, at least 11 picks in the draft next year, a first rounder, 2 second rounders. They have plenty of choices, plenty of directions they can go. They have enough ammo next year to get the guy that they do want, or they can just draft in the separate rounds and get guys and more depth and really make something nice. I think next year's not going to be a year where they should be going up to get a guy. I highly doubt it. Corey Clement, coming out of college, and what was his downfall in college? Really not catching the ball, run first offense, and we made him into a receiver. You know, a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield, even going out for a pass, as you saw in the Super Bowl with the 5 touches, 100 yards. This guy is really special, okay? And even watching this first preseason game of Corey Clement, he changes direction so fast. You really don't know which way he's going to go. He's very, he's unpredictable when he runs the ball, because you'll be like, holy shit, good move. And every time he got the ball in his hands Thursday night, he was getting positive yards, never really got hit back too much, except that really bad dump-off pass that Sudfeld had to him. They almost blew him up and almost ended his damn career on a suicide pass like that. But other than that, you have Corey Clement, and not even that, but Josh Adams has so much promise. Do you guys understand that we can have this Howie Roseman has got a plan up his sleeve, and if it works out correctly, and this could turn out to be something special. Not only special, but imagine having a 1-2 punch at running back that are not even drafted guys, undrafted starters, an undrafted 1-2 punch running backs for the Eagles next year. That's amazing, and this could really happen. I have a feeling Howie, I listened to Brian Baldinger on Twitter, watching Josh Adams plays, going at, pretty much going over the replay to, the preseason game. And my God, you really look at it closely and you see, if he has just a little bit of space and a little bit of a lane, Josh Adams could get through that hole and run through people like it's nothing. And he did it. I actually rewatched some of his film today, and he looked fucking amazing. He looks like he's not afraid. He looks like he's ready to go in there and do his thing. And, if Matt Jones doesn't step up from this injury, he just got cleared for practice today, so he went back to practice today. But Josh Adams got extra reps today with the first team, and he clearly took advantage of his role being in that backfield at training camp today. Can't complain anymore about it. Even watching Josh Adams' college tape, he's that one cut back, but he's got that burst of speed. Even when he runs east to west, he kind of is patient, but at the same time, once he's patient enough running, kind of like a Le'Veon Bell type thing, kind of patient, and then waits till he sees that little bit of space and just plugs right in, gets up, puts that 1 foot in front, gets upfield, gets to the second level, and will just run into people. And he showed that in this preseason game. For the less snaps that he got in this preseason game, he showed a lot of promise. He showed that he's got a chip on his shoulder. He showed that he has something to prove. And with him and Corey Clement, this could work out nicely for the Philadelphia Eagles. This could work out for the future. Not only by the type of players they are, what type of players they are, but how cheap they're coming right now. Especially Josh Adams on the cheap, not even being drafted. I mean, I'm saying Josh Adams isn't that cheap because the Eagles actually gave him a good amount of a good amount of money. So really, you can have these two backs for a while, and that's why it's good having a running back by committee, because you're not really committing to one guy with giving him $15 million a year. You know what I mean? Like having a situation with Le'Veon Bell where, you know, you're haggling back and forth and negotiations back and forth, and they're not working out. Then they're working out a little bit. Then they're not working out again. Something you really don't want to deal with, you know, having that one all-star back, because then if you have that one back that gets hurt making all this money, then what do you have? You don't, most teams that have that one back necessarily don't have a back that's close to being like that. Usually a guy that's maybe a little bit productive, something like a Devontae Freeman with a Tevin Coleman on the Falcons. Great 1-2 punch. You know what I mean? A Jordan Howard and a Tariq Cohen on the Chicago Bears. Great 1-2 punch. You have teams that have those nice 1-2 punches, but at the same time, the Eagles use 4 or 5 running backs. And it's not just a 1-2 punch. I mean, even this year, it's going to be like it's going to be a few guys, you know, not just, you know, them two, but Darren Sproles back for one more year. And then Jay Ajayi is going to play for himself, play for the money next year. He's playing for a big contract, and the Eagles are not going to pay, unfortunately. But to have 2 undrafted guys, one a rookie, one going into his second year right now, and they both flourish. If Josh Adams flourish in this offense, it's going to be special. And Howie Roseman did that. Why do you think Howie Roseman drafted Derek Barnett? Because Vinny Curry was making too much money. He wasn't too productive, and he was making too much. Unfortunately, he was making too much for not being. We don't have that defense where we have a starter throughout the whole entire game. Now it's a 5-man. It's literally every 5 plays. It's a rotation. You understand? Howie had that set up, drafting Derek Barnett, so we can let Vinny Curry go and sign elsewhere, which he did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I am high on these two guys, and Josh Adams has impressed, and say no more. He can be that bruiser back for us, that physical bruiser back that's dangerous, and I need to see more from him. The fans need to see more from him. We all need to see more from him. And there's only good things to come. So hopefully with this preseason game against the Patriots this week, you know, we'll see a lot more from Josh Adams on the field and what he can do. Especially with this starting. I want to see him with this starting offensive line. I really hope this week they actually put reps with him with the starting offensive line this week. I want to see him with this line and what he can actually do behind it, which would be absolutely cool to see. But let me know in the comment section what you think of Josh Adams. How high are you on him, and what are you expecting for him to be this year? I know he came off that fractured foot injury and didn't practice, and I didn't think he came back until I saw him on the field, and he was practicing literally. So I'm glad that that was over. I mean, he didn't really do much in minicamp because he was standing around with that recovering. But he must have been recovering for a while because he was hurt for a little bit of time, even by the draft as well. So let me know what you guys think about that. Very high on these two guys, and Josh Adams has a high ceiling right now. He can go as far as he can go if he fucking puts his mind to it. If he works out. This is why you don't go in free agency and pay running backs a lot of money. This is why you don't do that, because, or even with any position, unless it's like a need that you just want to fill one spot for the year or one spot for a few years and you can afford it, that's fine. But you can't go in free agency. You build your team. You build a dynasty. This is how dynasties are built. This is how teams are good for years to come, because they draft well. And we picked these guys up undrafted. And what a story it would be to have them two in that lineup this year. So that's all I really got to say, guys. So let me know what you guys think. So Shakes caught up. Fly, let's fly.